Hello everyone, it's Asia here. Welcome, and today I have for you a new project, this time ATC cards with jelly printing and Lindy's gang products. For this project I use almost all of the Lindy's products. I use squirts, magicals and shakers. The only reason why I didn't use sprays, it was because I was not sure if they are not too fluidy. And I am working on my homemade jelly plate. It's true, I made my own jelly plate over 1 year ago, and guys, look at the state. It's in a perfect state, which is actually gonna change because after putting Lindy's on it, the plate got very colorful. So just a small warning for you, I'm not sure how the original plate will react with Lindy's, but mine, because it was made from a gelatin I think and some other things, it actually absorbed the colors. So if you want to try this at home, just beware, you may just change the color of your jelly plate. I don't mind because the colors later they don't transfer to the papers, they actually soak in to the jelly plate and they stay there. So I was talking about the jelly plate, I did not talk about the colors, but I was sprinkling, I was putting some colors on the jelly plate, and I'm using a brayer and also a stencils from AB Studio and normal printing paper, so nothing special here. And now the paper is colored and dry, which is very important because I'm tearing the paper, the parts of paper. When the paper is wet you cannot tear it, of course, so the paper has to be dry. I need to tell you the transfer of the stencil is not as good as I would expect. But then again, guys, I promise you this is my first trial here on the video for you. So, and you can be sure of that because my jelly plate was completely clean, now it's not anymore. But it's the first trial, so I haven't tried more and I haven't worked too much with it. I didn't fight too much with it. I liked the fact that for once my creation is gonna be a pastel-y in color. And I left it like that. I didn't want to struggle, I think also. I didn't want to apply again the paint and reapply the stencils. So I said to myself, it's fine like it is. There is still visible pattern on the paper, which is fine with me. And I very like the transfer of the color. It's not at all like with the acrylics. It's more, I don't know, wispy? Can I say wispy? I think maybe. And I like that about it. And now I'm adding some stamping with stamps from Rubber Dance, with stamps from Caramel Studio, which are beautiful. And I'm using distress oxides, and I was using also an archival ink. And I'm stamping randomly, like I always do. And because very flat surface is not really something I like so much, even though I love art journaling, I am adding a little bit of embossing. So I'm using these two embossing powders also from Lindy's. Anyway, I try to either freeze the screen for you so you can read the names properly, or I put them in the captions, or you'll find all the products I used in the description box below. And look at me here, I'm being very clever. I'm drying the embossing powder from underneath, which makes the powder not to fly away all over the place. And I really like this technique, but I keep on forgetting about it. But still, I use the first setting on my of my heat gun to dry the embossing powder, because like that it does not fly away. I have more control over it. And now I'm using Studio Light stamp and embossing with the second color. I did not put too much effort into stamping, so the images are not very clear, but that's also what I wanted. I did not want the exact images to be stamped on the page, so I want the distress look as always. And this is a crucial part of my creative process. I am doing some splatter, this time with Flat Fabio Sidewalk Chalk from Lindy's gang, and I love this color. It has a chalky finish and it also gives this impression that you kind of use watercolors, as it is translucent, and if you use the sprayer straw, it is also irregular and quite big. And I'm using a beautiful stamp from Caramel Studio again. It's the stamp is called Innocence. And because the ATCs are pastel in color, I wanted to do something very happy. And so I stamped the images on the watercolor paper with archival ink, and later I fussy cut them. And I'm showing you here, I ran my ATCs through my sewing machine with white thread to make a little bit more distress. And I'm adding a lot of white accents because whites the white color is for me a symbol of innocence. Here just a simple doodling with dots, and the next step is to find the placement of the fuzzy cutted elements, and some parts of these elements I will be gluing with a 3D foam tape, and some of it I'll be gluing with a matte gel, and just because I want to have this irregularity if it comes to the levels on the card. And that gives more interest if some elements are raised up a little and some are flat on the paper. And just to change a little bit the cards, I decided to give the children on the third card a little bit bigger smile. There was something which bothered me with the ATC cards. The stamped images are very white because I stamped them on the white paper, and so I decided to use magical Cape Cod Coral to paint a little the faces and make it a little bit funky looking, because I did not want to paint the whole how do you call it? People, little humans. And so I used the magical as a watercolor, adding a little bit on the faces of shadowing, and then I decided to also add a little bit blue on the clouds, and then I realized that no, the blue is too much. So I removed it with a tissue, but slightly, so there is a tiny hint of blue. And of course, to finish the cards off, I added the sentiments from Tim Holtz Small Talk. There is a beautiful sentiment on the Caramel Studio stamp, but because it's a phrase, I couldn't cut it into small pieces to fit the cards. And the sentiments I chose, I am gluing them with either a 3D tape or with a soft gel medium. And I'm inking the edges again with a black archival ink. Guess what? Theoretically that should have been the end, but then I decided I'm gonna add some more splatter. And I've chosen the water-soluble oil pastels from Prima, and the reason for doing so is that they are different than Sidewalk Chalk from Lindy's, of course. The splatter I get with a brush, with the wet brush, it's much more tiny, and the dots are probably a little bit more whiter than the Sidewalk Chalk. And I also decided to add some shine because, well, there is balloon, there has to be some shine to it. And I use a glossy accent. And for the eyes of the children, I use Nouveau Crystal drops. And I had a small accident. Even though you see me, I have a piece of paper on which I'm trying, if the paint is not running too much. I managed to make the small mistakes with the eyes, which means either that I don't have a steady hand or the drops were running too easily. And if you happen to have a mistake like that, you just remove the excess with a craft knife or a scissors, or tiny scissors. And I'm adding to the back of the card, I'm adding with a double-sided tape a bit of blue tracing paper. It's a heavy tracing paper, and so it's sturdy also. And there is also some additional color to back up the white edges. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you will try printing with Lindy's products, and I'll see you soon. Wish you a happy day. Bye.